Obviously, we got the big major update here for Astraeos, which is the beloved map that everybody loves from Nakatis. On top of that, we also got a big reveal here coming for Genesis 1 that are going to shake things up, especially for the ocean dwellers out there. And lastly, we also got some drama, because what would an ARK video be without some sort of drama? But either way, let's dive right in. So starting us off with the first one, that brings us to the major update here for Astraeos. Now, we're not going to cover everything in this because there is a lot that went into bugs and tweaks and fixes and stuff. I highly recommend that you check out the patch notes for yourself, but just know that they have added some crazy stuff for the Astraeos map. Starting off with the big and most obvious ones, we've got new bosses and encounters. They've added the Hydrascos, the Unbroken, which is a full Hydra boss fight where you're dealing with multiple heads and coordinated phases. This one is going to demand some real teamwork. Additionally, the Manticore has now rest and nest inside of the Astraeos arena, and then you also have the Minotaurchos, which is basically a new mini-boss which is tied to the Labyrinth Cave, also found on Astraeos. And last but not least here, we've got the Scorpion King and Queen that are going to be roaming Pyranthos alongside the Deathworms. Again, Pyranthos is the brand new region that came with this major update here for Astraeos map. It is going to be introducing ancient ruins, buried pathways, and artifact caves, along with hostile weather. And speaking on additions, we have a huge amount of returning creatures making their way to Astraeos, things like the Phoenix, the Oasasaur, the Armadago, Desmodus, the Megaraptor, the Rock Drakes, and so on. I mean, the list here is pretty long. Check it out here for yourself, but just know that you have to be on the lookout for all these creatures now on your adventure. And not only that, what is a major update without a brand new creature being added into the game, and that is the Grand Tortugar, basically the mobile stronghold. It essentially is a armored command base, right? Multiple riders can shelter inside of its shell. It can close up and become nearly impenetrable, walks on land and across the ocean floor. It harvests resources, and it does not care about electrical threats. And that alone is absolutely going to shake up the way that you experience the water terrain here inside of Astraeos. Whether you're on top of the surface, mid-surface, or all the way down at the bottom, it seems like this is going to be a no-brainer tame for every survivor out there. Next up, let's dive in and talk about the Paleo Octopus. Yeah, that is right, guys. An octopus has officially made its way here to ARK, and it's going to be coming with Genesis Part 1, which is currently scheduled to launch here in April of 2026, so basically next month at the time of watching this video, assuming, of course, that we don't get some sort of delay pushing it back even further. And you might be thinking, well, this looks like the Big Squid 2.0. Well, you would actually be wrong, as Wildcard is actually bringing a brand new level of intelligence here to the depths. As one would expect here with a real octopus, a couple of the abilities that they mentioned here for the community crunch was it can disguise itself along the ocean floor, it can appear as part of the environment, and when it is disturbed, it becomes extremely aggressive. They did mention also here in the community crunch 2 different moods for the underwater tone. We've got calm, suspicious stillness, or the second one being sudden violent surges of ink and power. Again, it sounds like a mega ambush predator, and that's going to be very interesting to see how that gameplay plays out. Is it going to be more of like the Titan kind of tame? Is it going to be more of like, you know, the Kraken of the underwater? We don't know too much detail beyond this currently from what we've seen in the community crunch, but I would expect more to unfold as April, you know, comes closer and closer for the Genesis Part 1 reveal. But nevertheless, it looks absolutely awesome. Let me know down below in the comments, are you excited for this one? Are you nervous for this one? Are you going to completely avoid the water altogether? Let me know. Now, last but certainly not least, let's dive into the dun drama. Wouldn't be an ARK video without drama, of course, and starting us off with the first one, we had the official network crashes. Basically, the moment that the Ultra or the Mega update dropped for Astraeos, the official network went down, man. Everybody was losing their mind. You guys know how it is. Players in general lose their mind when they cannot log in, tame their dinos, you know, do anything. And on top of that, it looks like there was also some corrupted files that were being caused, which then unfortunately did set back a lot of survivors, either losing progress or losing entire full saves. You name it here, it created a ton of issues and drama throughout the ARK community, as one would expect. And Nakatis, the creator behind Astraeos map, also caught a hot steamy one from the community this week after players noticed Atlas assets being used in the Astraeos map. And this one's an interesting one. If you guys don't remember, Atlas was essentially ARK's pirate cousin. It used a very similar survival formula, but focused on sailing massive oceans, building ships, and fighting naval bases across hundreds of islands. The game actually launched with a lot of ambition, but also a lot of problems. server issues, bugs, performance problems led to basically a mixed reception from players, and over time, the game never really reached the massive scale that it originally promised. Nevertheless, though, ARK and Atlas actually were developed by Snail Games, and they do share the same developmental tech and asset pipelines, so it's honestly not actually unusual for resources to exist across both projects. And honestly, when you look at the Astraeos situation specifically, I personally don't think it's really a huge deal. Nakatis himself has been modding for ARK for roughly 8 years, and basically throughout that entire time, he has produced some amazing, really good, if not arguably the best maps that we have had here for ARK, not only for ASE, but also for ASA, and he continues to develop and deliver. With that being said, he also has been very straightforward about his skills and expertise, and that's primarily being a level designer, right? His strengths come in from building environments, building terrains, world layouts, you name it, right? He does not specialize and never has specialized in modeling, for creatures or for assets, rigging animations, texturing assets, or even coding entirely new systems. Like, he has publicly come out and stated this over and over again, and also just made a recent statement here on socials, once again reminding people that that is not his strengths. And I absolutely love the honesty here. This is not an example of a reskinned creature that we already have in ARK Survival Ascended being just reskinned and added to a new map or sold to you as a new map. Instead, it's completely new asset to ARK Survival Ascended, but just from another game like Atlas, which again is dead and gone. I personally don't see the issue here with doing that, and like I said before, it's still in the ARK ecosystem. It's still developed by Snail Games, and it still is something that is very much similar. So if all those assets exist, why not take advantage of those and use those, especially with some of the really cool stuff that he has brought here to Astraeos. For me personally, I just think his sheer overall talent and effort and stuff that he puts into building Astraeos and the other maps that he's brought, like Schwafelheim and some of the other ones that he's working on, I think that far outweighs him reutilizing some assets from another game, again, that is dead and gone like Atlas. Anyways, with that being said, we'll be diving back into ARK at some point in time. If you haven't done so and you want to stay up to date with me, join the Discord. You can find that link down below in the description. If you do enjoy this video, be sure to drop a subscribe and a like on the video, as the engagement helps me out a ton. The follow or the subscribe here on the channel will help boost me to that 100,000 subscribers, baby, that we're on the road to hit, hopefully by the end of 2026. But with that being said, as always, guys, I love you. Have a good day, and I will see you all on the next one.